The alien royal hall was larger than any city humans had ever built. The ceiling was so high that clouds floated slowly above it, glowing with soft blue light. Massive pillars of black crystal stood in perfect lines. Every step echoed like thunder. This was a place where fear lived. At the center of the hall sat the alien queen. She was tall, elegant, and terrifying. Her crown floated above her head, made of living metal. Her eyes glowed cold silver. This queen had ruled for hundreds of years. Entire worlds had fallen when she spoke a single word. No one dared to look into her eyes for long. Kneeling far below her were delegates from many species. Some were shaking. Some were silent. And among them were a few humans. Humans were considered weak in this galaxy. Short lives, soft bodies, number, natural armor. They were tolerated, never respected. Most humans kept their heads low and their mouths closed in the presence of the queen. All of them. Except one. A human man stood instead of kneeling. He was average in height, wearing a simple dark uniform. No weapons were visible. His hands were relaxed at his sides. His face showed no fear. His eyes were calm. That alone shocked the hall. Alien. Guards shifted their weapons toward him. Noble aliens whispered angrily. A human standing in the queen's presence was an insult. The queen noticed. Her gaze moved slowly, locking onto the human. Human, she said, her voice deep and heavy, filling the hall without effort. Why do you stand? The human bowed. His head slightly, but he did not kneel. I stand because I speak as family, he said. The word family caused a ripple of confusion. The queen's expression did not change, but the air grew colder. Family? She asked. You have no family here. The human lifted his head and looked directly at the throne. With respect, he said calmly. I do. Gasps echoed across the hall. A guard took one step forward. The queen raised a single finger. The guard froze. You may speak, the queen said slowly. Choose your next words carefully, human. They may be your last. The human took a breath. His voice remained steady. I came not as a subject, he said, but as the husband of your daughter. Time stopped. The words hung in the air like a blade. For a long moment, no one moved. No one breathed. Then the hall erupted in shock. What did he say? Did the human just... Impossible. Alien nobles shouted in anger. Guards raised their weapons fully now. Power fields activated around the throne. The queen did not. Speak. She did not move. Her glowing eyes widened just a little. You, she said slowly. You just called my daughter your wife? Yes, the human answered. That is what I said. The queen stood up. The ground trembled. Cracks spread across the crystal floor. Her presence pressed down on everyone like gravity itself. Many aliens fell to their knees instantly. Even some guards struggled to remain standing. The human did. Not move. Do you understand? The queen said, her voice shaking with controlled rage. That my daughter is the heir to this empire. Yes. Do you understand, she continued, that humans are forbidden from bonding with royal blood? Yes. Then do you understand, she roared, that what you just said is a declaration of death? Yes, the human replied softly. The queen stared at him, searching his mind, his body, his soul for fear. She found none. You dare stand before me, she said, and lie? I do not lie, the human said. Not to family. That word. Again. Family. Before the queen could speak again, movement came from behind the throne. A figure stepped forward, the princess. She was tall and radiant, her presence gentle yet powerful. Her eyes met the humans. There was no fear in them, only trust. Gasps filled the hall once more. My mother, the princess said, her voice clear. He speaks the truth. The queen turned slowly toward her daughter. Silence returned, heavier than before. The queen's hand clenched into a fist. Guards, she whispered, her voice deadly calm. Take the human. Energy weapons locked onto him instantly. The human did not resist. The princess stepped forward quickly. Wait, she said. The queen raised her hand again. Everyone froze. Her eyes moved between her daughter and the human. Then, she spoke the words that made every heart stop. If he is lying, the queen said, he will die screaming. Her gaze locked onto the human. If he is not, she continued, then everything changes. The truth scan device began to awaken. And the fate of humanity stood on one man's honesty. Asterisk. The royal hall felt colder than before. Alien guards surrounded the human in a tight circle. Their weapons glowed with quiet power, ready to erase him in a heartbeat. Still, the human stood calm. His hands were open. His breathing was slow. He did not look like a man waiting to die. The alien queen stepped down from her throne. Each step she took shook the floor. The sound echoed across the hall, heavy and final. No one dared to speak. The queen stopped only a few steps away from the human. She was taller than him, her shadow covering his entire body. She looked down at him with eyes that had judged and destroyed worlds. Say it again, the queen said. Her voice was low, sharp, and dangerous. Say what you are to my daughter. The human lifted his head. I am her husband, he said simply. A sharp hiss spread through the hall. Several alien nobles shouted in anger. One of them stepped forward. This is madness, the noble cried. Humans lie. They trick. They steal. The queen raised her hand without looking back. The noble fell silent instantly. Her eyes never left the human. You do not kneel, she said. You do not beg. You do not even shake. Why? The human thought for a moment before answering. Because fear does not change truth, he said. And truth is all I have brought here. The queen circled him slowly, studying him like prey. She looked at his face, his posture, his eyes. She searched for weakness. She searched for pride. She found something else. You smell of bond, she said quietly. Lulled and deep. The hall stirred again. Bond scent was sacred, rare, almost impossible. Between different species. The queen stopped in front of him. Tell me, she said. Did you force her? The question cut through the hall like a blade. The princess stepped forward at once, her voice strong. No, she said. He never forced me, not once. The queen turned sharply to her daughter. Be silent, she snapped. This is not finished. The princess did not step back. My mother, she said calmly. This must be finished with truth. The queen stared at her daughter. For the first time, doubt flickered in her eyes. She turned back to the human. If you lie, the queen sighed, your mind will break before your body dies. I accept, the human replied. The queen raised her arm. From the floor, a massive device rose slowly. It was dark and smooth, covered in glowing symbols. The truth scanner. Ancient alien technology. It read thoughts, emotions, and memory. No lie had ever passed it. The hall held its breath. Step forward, the queen ordered. The human stepped inside the circle of light. Energy wrapped around him, pressing gently at first. The symbols began to glow brighter. State your claim. The queen commanded. I am bonded to your daughter, the human said. By choice. By honor. The machine reacted. Light surged. Images appeared in the air. The princess and the human, standing together on a quiet alien world. No guards, no weapons. Just two figures talking, laughing, learning each other's ways. Another image appeared. Princess wounded. The human carrying her through fire and smoke, refusing to leave her behind. Another. The human kneeling before her, offering not power, not control, but promise. The hall went silent. Whispers stopped. Even the guards lowered their weapons slightly. The queen watched every image. Her face hardened, then softened, then tightened again. The machine pulsed one final time. No deception detected. It announced. Shock swept the room. The queen slowly lowered her arm. "You speak truth," she said. The human bowed his head. For the first time, the queen took a step back, then another. Something dangerous shifted in her expression. Not anger, but fear. "If this bond stands," she said slowly, "then my empire will change." She turned to the nobles. "You fear humans because you think them weak," she said. "But weakness does not face death without shaking." Her eyes returned to the human. "What do humans want?" she asked. "Power? Territory? Control?" The human met her gaze. "We want to belong," he said, "and to protect what we love." The queen clenched her fist. "Then hear me, human," she said. "If your words are empty, I will burn your world." The human did not hesitate. "Then judge us by our actions," he said. The queen turned away. "Prepare the trial," she commanded. The hall erupted in shock once more. The princess gasped. "A trial?" she whispered. "Mother, no human has survived." The queen looked back over her shoulder. "Exactly," she said. Her eyes locked onto the human. "Let us see," she finished, "what humanity is truly made of." The announcement of the trial spread through the royal hall like a cold wind. Alien nobles whispered in fear and excitement. Some smiled, believing the human's end had finally arrived. Others stayed silent, watching closely. Trials ordered by the alien queen were never fair. They were designed to break even the strongest minds. The human stood in the center of the hall. He did not ask what the trial would be. He did not beg. That alone unsettled many watching. The princess stepped closer to him. Her voice was low. "This trial is not about strength," she warned. "It attacks the mind. It will show you your worst fears." The human nodded. "Then it will show nothing new," he said. The princess looked at him with worry, then stepped back when the queen raised her hand. "This trial was created," the queen said, "to test loyalty, truth, and will. Species stronger than humans have failed." Her eyes locked onto the human. "If you break," she continued, "you will beg for death. If you survive, the galaxy will remember your name." The floor beneath the human began to glow. A ring of light rose around him. The air inside it grew heavy. Guards stepped back. Nobles leaned forward. "Begin," the queen ordered. The light swallowed the human dot inside the trial field. Sound vanished. The human felt pressure on his chest, his head, his thoughts. The system reached into his mind, searching for cracks. The first vision appeared. He stood on Earth. It was quiet. Too quiet. Burned cities surrounded him. The sky was dark with smoke. Human ships lay broken in the streets. Bodies covered the ground. A voice echoed around him. "This is your future," it said. "You anger the queen. Your species pays the price." The human clenched his fists. He walked forward. "This is not truth," he said. "This is fear." The vision flickered. The pressure increased. The second vision formed. He saw his family. Older now, weaker. They reached for him as alien shadows fell over them. He felt the weight of guilt press into his chest. "You chose an alien over your own kind," the voice said. "They suffer because of you." The human's breath shook for the first time. Then he straightened. "I chose to protect," he said. "That includes them." The vision cracked like glass. Outside the trial, nobles gasped. The system should have broken him by now. One whispered. The queen said nothing, but her fingers tightened on the arm of her throne. Inside the field, the trial changed. The final vision appeared. The princess stood before him. Her eyes were cold. "Stent, you are weak," she said. "You cannot protect me." Behind her, the alien queen watched in silence. "Leave," the princess continued. "You do not belong in my world." This time, the human's heart pounded. This fear was real. He took a slow step toward her. "If you ever say that," he said softly. I will listen. Until then I will stand. The vision stared at him. Then it smiled. And shattered. The trial system began to react strangely. Energy spiked. Symbols flickered. The pressure vanished suddenly, throwing the human to one knee. He did not scream. Did not beg. He pushed himself back to his feet. Outside the field. Alarm sounded. That is impossible, an alien technician shouted. The system is losing control. The Queen stood up sharply. Explain. The human is not resisting, the technician said. He is accepting. The light around the human dimmed. The system tried one last time. It reached deep, searching for hatred. It found something else. Memory. Humans standing together in darkness. Humans protecting each other without reward. Humans facing death with quiet resolve. The system could not understand it. The field collapsed. The human stood. Free. Silence filled the hall. Slowly, the Queen descended from her throne once more. She walked toward the human, her expression unreadable. You did not fight the trial, she said. You did not submit either. The human met her gaze. I endured, he said. The Queen stopped in front of him. For the first time, she said. Quietly, this trial has failed to break its subject. The nobles erupted into loud voices. End this. This changes everything. The princess rushed to the human side. You did it, she whispered. The Queen raised her hand again. Silence returned. This trial is not finished, she announced. The hall froze. There's one final test, the Queen said, her eyes burning with new interest, one that no system can run. She looked directly at the human, one that only I can judge. And for the first time, the alien Queen was no longer certain of the outcome. The royal hall no longer felt like a place of victory. It felt like a battlefield. The light from the broken trial system faded, leaving dark marks on the floor where no one dared to step. Alien nobles stood in uneasy silence. Guards kept their weapons lowered, but ready. Something had changed, and everyone could feel it. The alien Queen stared at the human, for the first time in centuries. She did not know what would happen next. You endured what no human should have survived, she said slowly. But endurance alone does not earn my trust. The human stood straight, though his body still felt heavy from the trial. Then, test my actions, he said, not my fear. The Queen's eyes narrowed. You speak as if you stand equal before me. I stand responsible, the human replied, for your daughter, for my people. A low murmur spread across the hall. Responsibility was a sacred word among the alien empire. The Queen turned and walked back toward her throne, then stopped halfway. Very well, she said. My final judgment will not be one of strength or mind. She raised her hand. Hear this, she announced. I will test the human's loyalty. The princess stepped forward in alarm. Mother, she said, what does that mean? The Queen looked at her daughter with something close to sadness. It means choice. The Queen snapped her fingers. The air shimmered and a massive star map appeared above the hall. Worlds glowed across it. Some were bright. Others were dark and broken. The Queen pointed to one. This world belongs to humanity, she said. A small colony. Weak defenses. The princess gasped softly. The human's jaw tightened. The trial is simple, the Queen continued. Threat approaches this world. I can stop it. She paused, or I can let it fall. The hall erupted in shocked whispers. You would destroy a human world? A noble asked. The Queen did not look at them. I will spare it, she said, if the human chooses the empire over my daughter. Silence fell like a blade. The princess turned slowly to the human, her eyes wide. The human said nothing. The Queen's voice remained calm, but cruel. Swear loyalty to me, she said. Leave my daughter. Humanity will survive. She stepped closer. Refuse, she continued, "and I will watch your people burn." The human closed his eyes. Memories rushed through his mind. Earth, human cities, children, families, faces that trusted him, without knowing his name. Then he looked at the princess. She shook her head slowly, tears forming. "Do not choose me," she whispered. "They need you." The human's hands trembled for the first time. Every eye in the hall watched him. The queen waited. Finally, the human spoke. "I will not abandon my people," he said. The princess's heart broke. The queen's lips curved into a cold smile. "Good," she said. "Then speak the words." The human took a breath. "I choose both," he said. The hall exploded with sound. "That is not possible. He defies the queen." The queen's smile vanished. "You dare twist my judgment?" "I do not twist it," the human said firmly. "I reject it." The queen's eyes flared with power. "You cannot protect both." The human lifted his chin. "Humans do not survive by choosing," he said. "We survive by standing." The queen stared at him in silence. Then she laughed. It was soft, dangerous. "Then show me," she said. She raised her arm. The star map shifted. A red signal pulsed closer to the human colony. "The threat arrives soon," the queen said. "You will have no fleet, no weapons." The princess grabbed the human's arm. "This is impossible," she said. "They will die." The human gently placed his hand over hers. "Not alone," he said. The queen watched closely. "What can one human do?" she asked. The human looked around the hall. "Not one," he said. "Many." He turned toward the human delegates who had remained silent until now. They stepped forward. "We stand with him," one said. Another nodded. "So do we." The queen's expression hardened. "Brave words," she said. "We will see if they matter." She stepped back onto her throne. "Judgment is set," she announced. "If humanity survives, I will accept the bond." The princess held her breath. "And if they fail?" someone asked. The queen's eyes glowed cold. "Then the human dies," she said. Her gaze locked onto him. "And his species will be remembered only as a warning." The hall fell silent. The red signal pulsed closer, and the fate of humanity now moved forward. Without alien mercy. The red signal on the star map pulsed like a beating heart. Every pulse meant less time. The human colony was small. It had no war fleet, no heavy weapons, and no shield strong enough to stop what was coming. Alien nobles watched with cold interest. Many were certain the human would fail. The alien queen leaned back on her throne. "Begin," she said. The star map expanded. Images streamed into the hall. The human colony appeared, peaceful, unaware. The human stood silently, eyes fixed on the file. Image. His mind raced, but his face stayed calm. "How long?" he asked. "Hours," the queen replied. "Not days, not weeks." The princess stepped closer to him. "They will not listen to warnings," she said softly. "They have never seen a threat like this." The human nodded. "Then we do not warn," he said. "We prepare." The queen raised an eyebrow. "With what?" she asked. "You have nothing." The human turned toward the other humans in the hall. He did not shout. He did not command. He spoke clearly. "We do not have power," he said. "We have each other." The words were simple, but they carried weight. The human delegates straightened. One by one, they activated their devices. Signals spread outward, faster than the alien nobles expected. "What are they doing?" one noble whispered. The queen watched closely. The human colony received the message. No panic followed. No chaos. Instead, humans moved with quiet speed. Engineers powered systems. Pilots returned to old ships. Workers sealed shelters. Families gathered. Not to hide, but to help. "Why do they not flee?" an alien asked. "They know they cannot," the princess answered. "So they stand." The threat came into view. A massive alien construct, dark, silent, built to erase worlds. Gasps filled the hall. That weapon erased 3 systems, a noble said. Nothing survived. The queen folded her arms. Your people are already dead. She said calmly. The human said nothing. On the screen, humans launched old ships. Not warships, cargo vessels, mining craft. Anything that could move. They cannot fight that, the queen said. This ends now. No, the human replied. This begins. The first human ship moved forward. Then another, then dozens. They formed a line not to attack, but to block. The massive weapon fired. Light filled the screen. One human ship vanished. Then another. The princess covered her mouth. The human's hands clenched, but the line held. New ships took the place of the fallen. Why? The queen asked. Why do they sacrifice themselves? The human spoke quietly. Because someone must hold the door. The weapon fired again. More ships fell, but the weapon slowed. Its systems strained, forced to fire again and again. They are buying time, the queen realized. The human nodded. Humans are good at that. On the colony below, defenses activated. Shields powered up just enough. Evacuation paths opened. Children were moved underground. The queen leaned forward. This should not work, she said. The princess watched in awe. They are not trying to win, she whispered. They are trying to survive. Suddenly something changed. Human engineers rerouted energy. Mining lasers aligned. Not weapons, but tools. They fired together. The beam struck the massive construct, not destroying it, but destabilizing it. Alarms sounded across the alien hall. That is impossible, a technician shouted. They are overloading its core. The construct began to tear itself apart. Human ships pulled back. The screen flashed white. When the light faded, the weapon was gone. Silence filled the royal hall. Slowly, the human exhaled. The princess turned to the queen. They lived, she said. The queen did not answer. She stared at the empty space where the weapon had been. Humans, she said softly, turned tools into salvation. She stood. The hall bowed instinctively. You have done what no empire could, the queen said. Without orders, without fear. Her gaze locked onto the human. You chose your people, she said. And yet, you did not abandon my daughter. The princess reached for the human's hand. The queen raised her hand again. Do not mistake this for victory, she warned. One question remains. The hall grew tense. What will humanity demand in return? The queen asked. The human looked around the room. Then he answered, nothing. He said. The queen froze. We ask only, he continued, to stand beside you, not beneath. The queen stared at him. For a long moment. She did not speak, and in that silence, the future of the galaxy waited. The royal hall remained silent. Not the silence of fear, the silence of thought. The alien queen stood still on her throne platform. Her glowing eyes no longer burned with rage. They searched. They measured. For the first time in her long reign, she was not judging an enemy. She was trying to understand. The human stood quietly. He did not press his victory. He did not smile. He waited. The princess squeezed his hand, then slowly let go. She stepped forward. Mother, she said gently. They did not ask for reward. The queen's gaze shifted to her daughter. That, she replied, is what frightens me. She turned back to the human. All species demand something, the queen said. Power, territory, tribute. You ask for nothing. The human nodded. Because we already paid, he said. With lives. The queen looked away. Across the hall, images of the fallen human ship still hovered faintly. Small lights marked each loss. Not numbers. Names. Alien nobles watched uneasily. They were not used to seeing sacrifice without command. The queen raised Her hand, the images faded. Humans fight like no species I have seen, she said. Not for glory, not for conquest. She paused. You fight for each other. The human lowered his head slightly. Yes. The queen stepped down from her throne again, but this time her steps were slower, thoughtful. In my empire, she sighed, obedience is survival. Love is weakness. Her eyes moved to the princess. I raised you to rule, she continued. Not to choose. The princess met her mother's gaze without fear. And yet I chose, she said. Because he never tried to own me. The queen's expression cracked just for a moment. She looked at the human. Did you promise her power? The queen asked. No, he replied. Did you promise her safety? No. Then why did she choose you? The human took a breath. I promised to stand, he said. Even when afraid, the queen closed her eyes. Memories stirred. Ancient ones. A younger queen. A lost partner. A time before empires hardened her heart. When she opened her eyes again, something had shifted. Stand with me, she said to the human. The hall gasped out. The human stepped forward. The queen raised her hand toward him. Energy flickered, not as a weapon, but as a test. It brushed against his mind. She felt it. Human fear, human doubt, human hope, and something deeper. Resolve. The queen withdrew her hand slowly. You are dangerous, she said quietly. Not because you are strong, but because you endure. The human said nothing. The queen turned to the nobles. You believed humans were fragile, she announced. You were wrong. Murmurs spread. They build no empires, she continued. Yet they hold their ground. She turned back to the human. If I accept this bond, she said, the balance of power will change. The princess stepped forward. Again, then let it change, she said. The queen looked at her daughter for a long moment. You risk everything, she said. The princess nodded. So did he. The queen exhaled slowly. Very well, she said. The hall leaned in. I will not destroy what humans have earned, the queen announced. Nor will I deny my daughter's choice. Relief washed across the princess's face. But the queen was not finished. This does not mean peace, she warned. It means challenge. She looked at the human. Your kind will be tested. She said, watched. The human met her gaze. We are used to that, he said. The queen almost smiled. Almost. There's one final matter, she said. One voice yet unheard. The hall fell silent again. Rise, the queen commanded. From the shadows at the edge of the hall, an ancient alien elder stepped forward. His presence was heavy, older than the throne itself. The council will not accept this easily, the elder said. They fear humanity. The queen straightened. Then they will learn, she said. The elder turned his gaze toward the human. Will you swear loyalty to the empire? He asked. The human answered without hesitation. I will swear. Honesty, he said. Nothing more. The elder frowned. The queen raised her hand sharply. That, she said, is enough. The elder bowed. The queen turned to the hall. Prepare the final ceremony, she announced. Gasps filled the chamber. The princess's eyes widened. Queen looked at her daughter. And prepare for resistance, she added quietly. Her gaze moved to the human, because not all will accept what comes next. The human nodded. We will stand, he said. And in that moment, the queen understood. The galaxy was about to change, not by force, but by humanity. The final ceremony began under a sky of stars. Above the alien capital, massive lights formed ancient symbols of unity and rule. Thousands of beings gathered across floating platforms, watching in silence. This was not a celebration. It was a decision that would shape the future of the galaxy. The alien queen stood at the center. On her right stood her daughter, calm and proud. On her left stood the human. He wore no crown, no armor, No symbol of power. Only his presence. The council of elders formed a wide circle. Their voices echoed together. This union challenges law, they declared. It threatens balance. The queen lifted her hand. So did my rise, she replied. The elders fell silent. The queen turned to the human. Speak, she commanded. Not as husband, not as subject. Speak as a human. The human stepped forward. He looked at the countless faces, alien, human and others. We did not come to rule, he said. We came to stand. He spoke simply. No fire. No threat. We know fear, he continued. We live with it. But we do not let it decide who we protect. Images appeared above them. Human ships forming a shield. Humans rebuilding together. Humans standing where others would run. We are not strong alone, he said. We are strong together. The elders whispered among themselves. One stepped forward. Your species breaks, the elder said. Your bodies fail. The human nodded. Double quotes, yes, he said. And still we stand again. The queen watched closely. The princess reached for the human's hand. The elder spoke again. If we accept this bond, he warned, humans will change the empire. The queen answered before the human could. They already have, she said. Silence followed, then a distant alarm sounded. A shadow moved across the stars. Another threat. Closer than expected. The crowd stirred. The queen's eyes narrowed. Show me, she ordered. The image revealed a hostile fleet approaching the border worlds. This one was larger, organized, watching. They test us, an elder said. The queen turned to the human. This is the moment, she said. Stand with us, or step aside. The human did not hesitate. He stepped forward. We stand together, he said. The queen nodded once. Orders spread instantly. Alien fleets moved. Human ships followed. Different designs. Different power. One purpose. The battle unfolded in silence. Across the stars. Alien weapons struck first. The enemy advanced. Then human ships moved not to attack, but to protect flanks, rescue damaged vessels, and hold gaps. They do not fight. Like us, an alien commander said. No, the queen replied. They fight for us. The combined fleet pushed forward. The enemy faltered. Retreated. Then fled. The stars grew quiet. Again, cheers erupted across the platforms. The elders bowed their heads. The queen turned to the human and her daughter. This galaxy has survived because of choice, she said. Not command. She raised her voice. Let it be known, she declared, that humanity stands as equal. The words echoed across space. The princess smiled. The human bowed his head. Not in submission, but respect. The queen stepped closer. You called my daughter your wife, she said softly. Yes, he replied. She studied him. Protect her, the queen said. And your kind. I will, he promised. The queen placed her hand over theirs. The bond sealed. Across the galaxy. The story spread. Humans were no longer spoken of as weak. They were spoken of as dangerous in a different way. They endured. They stood. They remembered. When the galaxy needed someone to hold the line, humanity answered.